So here we are at the Wig and Pen in Canberra to celebrate International Homebrew Day. We've got 8 of the Canberra Brewers brewing 11 batches of beer today. We're brewing variations on the Belgian Blonde More Fun Ale. Each brewer is pulled out a different tweak. We've got guys brewing on wood, guys brewing on fruit, guys darkening their blondes, guys using sour, guys making light versions, strong versions. Special thanks go to Wig and Pen for hosting us, to Cole from Brew Your Own at Home, and to Kurtz from Mashematics to sponsoring the day. It's going to be a great day, so let's get out there and have a look.
Hi, my name's Mike Wilbur. I'm the president of the Canberra Brewers this year, and very much looking forward to having a big day here on International Homebrew Day. My system today is a brew in a bag system. I'm actually taking a different variation in that I'm brewing in the bag, and then I'm using what's called no chill. So I'm just going to take the very hot wort out of my kettle, put it straight into a container, and let it cool down slowly. It's a fast, easy way to get into home brewing. This is a cut down version of my home system. I have a 3-vessel system at home, which is a lot bigger, a lot more complicated. But this is a great way to bring people and introduce them into the hobby.
And I got into it because I moved back to Canberra after many years in North America, and I couldn't find beers I liked in the stores, so I started brewing, and I got better beer than I could buy easily. So then I joined the Canberra Brewers and learned more about it, so it's getting a little more sophisticated these days, but basic thing is some sugar source, malt extract, a few hops, some heat, bit of yeast, water, chuck it in, wait a week or so, put it in some bottles, you're good. You can do all that. Anybody can do that. I did it just by reading a couple things online, and I'm really happy with the result. And so yeah, but I guess my basic message would be to anybody who's interested in doing it, it's super easy to do, and you can make good beer the first time if you just basic hygiene. Like if you know how to wash yourself, then you know how to make beer.
System, which stands for recirculated infusion mash system, and so you can see that something I've done a bit different is put the rims tube inside the mash tun. I guess the idea behind that was efficiency, which really it's probably a bit of a wank, but yeah, it's controlled. The trolley is controlled by Alan Bradley PLC and HMI interface, here machine interface, which you can set your recipe, monitor, and monitor your mash tun trends and whatever. You can see there the flashing lights, the element going on and off to control the temperature in the mash tun. Once the mash is finished, I'll pump through to the boiler, and I actually use mains pressure water to instantaneously sparge through. It takes me a bit longer to bring to boil because obviously I can't start the boil element until I finish sparging because of the power constraints. But yeah, once that's done, I boil, and I can control the boil rate via this control panel as well. And all the controllable systems have manual override, so you can switch them off or on, hard on via those switches.
Maypac Void Brewery. It's a workshop up in Downer. We're going to get kicked out in October and we're looking for a new space at the moment. So if you've got any good ideas, that'd be fantastic. But at the moment, we've got, I suppose, a 60-litre brewery running pretty well. This is the hot liquor tun, where we heat the water to mash the grains. In here, all the grains are busy being converted so that the yeast can eat them up and make some alcohol. Anyone can do it. It's I suppose I like to say that it's easier than making bread, but a bit harder than making soup. It just takes a lot of time, and it's pretty hard to make bad beer. I've been trying, and I haven't made one that I can't drink and enjoy yet.
Litre Brewmeister German-made system. You probably have seen some of the other systems around here today. This is probably the most expensive system here, and as we were discussing before, it's for retirees with lots of money or people with lots of time. But it's also a very good system. In fact, it's very small footprint, and I can produce 50 litres, and this system, whereas some of the others, 50 litres are much larger. Underneath, just sitting here, is that's very hot, is the computer control system. There's two 2400 watt electronic elements in the bottom, cleaning elements, and two pumps. Sitting inside this vessel is a second, which we call the sleeve, I suppose, where the water is pumped through that sleeve, through the grain, out over the top and down the other side, so it's like a recirculating mash system. I chose to go with this system because of the consistency that I can get, the step mashing. So step mashing is holding at a certain temperature. Because it's computer controlled, I can set it at a certain temperature and hold it at that temperature. That way the proteins, etc. inside the grain, I get better extraction from it. Very good system.
Very easy system compared to all the other ones here. I do what's called brew in a bag. So it's a single pot, rather than having a separate vessel for doing the mash in. I use a fine hessian bag. It basically sits in the top. From there, put all the grain in, let it mash out from there. Simple case from there, remove the bag, and then start the boil process from there and follow the same process.
Alright, my system is a Herm system, which is a recirculating system that where we mash into the mash tun and we recirculate through a copper coil that's immersed into a hot water bath at the back of the brew stand here. Now that continually recirculates through the whole mash process, which allows me to step mash any temperatures that I want. Today we've gone for a simple step of 67 degrees, and then we're currently coming to the end of our mash out, which is 78 degrees. Now from there we'll gravity feed from the mash tun down to the boiler, and then we'll boil for 90 minutes, adding the hops in different bits and pieces. From the boiler we'll go through my heat exchanger, and then we run hot water through in the wort in the opposite direction, and that'll chill it down to about 18 degrees, where we'll add our yeast, and the yeast will, I've got two batches going today. One is the calibration Belgian style, and the other one I'm using Britain Mices yeast, which will give it a nice sourness to the beer. This system I've had for quite a while now, probably about 5 or 6 years. It was all built by myself, and it uses a PID, which has got some fuzzy controls, which automates the system and makes everything that much more repeatable.
Basically a boiler for doing a full extract, full boil. So I start out by adding the water, adding in the extract and boiling as people would do on a full boil and a mash system, except I have no mash. I only have extract, sugar, and in this case a bit of DME, dry malt extract, to make up the volume. So I've got my first hop addition in and it's all underway and boiling at the moment. I'm still working on tuning it to get that good flavour. It is really difficult, as far as I've found, to get the same results as you do from an all-grain beer, but you can get there. There's just a few different things that you have to do with the recipes to make it better. You can definitely smell the extract in this compared to when you smell the other all-grain setups here. But the end product comes out pretty good, and with a bit of work and a bit of persistence, you can get a system together where you'll end up with beer that tastes as good.
Basic extract rig, just need heat source, a pot, a couple of implements like a spoon, and spray bottle is good for sanitizing. And you can do all of this for, well, all this equipment, maybe save the pot, is under $100.
I think you could build this system for $1,500, under $1,500. It might not be quite as Gucci, but certainly the way the system works, yeah, you can get away with $1,500, which for a 50 litre double batch system is, if you consider a Brewmaster 50 litre, what's that, about 5? 3.5. Right, so yeah. I mean, and the other thing you have to consider is it's a good project. We've had a lot of fun building it, a lot of late nights figuring out the program bugs or whatever, but I would encourage anyone to go down this path.
This system, beg, borrowed and stole, bits and pieces, cost about $900, and that includes everything you see here, and 2 chest freezers for controlling fermentation, kegs for serving the beer, bottles, everything you can think of.
It's fairly cheap. The urn itself is about $200, $250. On top of that, the bags maybe $20, $10 or somewhere around there. And on top of that, I've got a copper cooler which I use as well, which is about $100 as well. So certainly under $500. I guess the big advantage of this over other systems is the amount of space it takes up. Other ones are quite large. As you can see, a single pot doesn't take up much room at all.
So I was lucky enough. I've made the whole lot myself. So to buy something like this would be quite expensive. But I think that anyone wants to get into home brewing, it doesn't matter how good the system is. It's the end result.
In a 2-bedroom flat in Sydney while I was going to uni, and 1 bedroom was fermenting and 1 bedroom was sleeping, and that's how I started making beer. And then studied science and mining engineering and decided that it wasn't that fun and wanted to get into making beer. So, cut a long story short, sort of came to Canberra and got a job here working as assistant brewer, and been here 16.5 years. Try not to be overcomplicated. I know we've got some awesome systems upstairs today where we're seeing different types of brewing techniques, but there's nothing like keeping it simple. And be diverse as well in the ingredients you use, but also in the types of beer you make, because no beer is the same. So if you want to sort of encompass all the beer styles that are out there, brew different beers.
But it's really fantastic to see so many people here with such high levels of skill, demonstrating and coming together with a love of beer. Some of the most amazing homebrewing equipment I've ever seen. Everything from touch screen brewing setups right the way through to the traditional sort of system that I used to use myself many years ago. So I think it's been interesting being in the industry, watching over the last decade and watching the spectacular growth in craft beer. The high Australian dollar has led a lot of people to be able to experience from the bottle shops the premium product that's produced overseas, and the development of the craft brewing industry has also given those consumers an opportunity to go to small breweries like Wig and Pen or to pubs that are selling craft beer and enjoy locally produced high quality product.
Oh, I just like to, obviously we're standing in a barrel room, so we're pretty proud of the fact that we do a lot of wood aged and barrel beers, and we use a lot of bacteria to make a lot of beers. We don't really make sour beers to style like a lambic or a Gers, even though we go close to that, but we try and make different beers. And this one we've got in our hand now is sort of like a dark Belgian ale, but it's got been aged in barrels. We've got Brettanomyces, and we've got Petitcockers working in the barrel, so to create that lovely cheese on top of the barrel. And it's really takes brewing to a whole new level when you actually do a bit of bacterial aging and bring those lovely microorganisms into the brewing. And I think that's that's the frontier a lot of amateur brewers should be trying to get into, and I know a lot of them are with barrels, but if they can all start doing a bit of sour beer to really bring the level of sour beer up and the perception of sour beer up, certainly around Australia.
Clubs. We've been champion club in Australia for on and off for the last few years. About 150 members here in Canberra, Australia, with a variety of members from who are just starting out on kit and kilo brews through to guys with massive, almost professional systems. We have a very strong focus around education in our homebrew club. We think that by helping people understand more about homebrewing and craft brewing in general, they'll be able to improve their skill in their craft and become better brewers as a result. We've also been really fortunate to have a few of our home brewers become professional brewers, and they've often brewed award-winning beers. So yeah, for us, Canberra Brewers, we're a very passionate club about beer. We have a great champion here in the Wig and Pen. They look after us and make sure we have great experience and great exposure to professional level brewing, and really enjoy and enthusiastic about the hobby.
In fact, I joined the Canberra Brewers at our director's insistence, but I did it basically because I wanted to be a better brewer. A better brewer by learning. I knew what I liked to drink. I knew what I wanted to have a drink of, but I wanted to actually learn how to be within the set guidelines, the German guidelines about what is a set brew, what is an ale, what is a lager. And so that's why I joined. The guys have been generous and wonderful, full of information, had a great time.
I've been a member for around 2 years. During that time I just started doing the all-grain brewing method, doing it this way. From there we've certainly learned a lot in regards to the different methods, the different grains, different hops, different yeasts, and issues that can come out of it as well. So last year I completed the beer judging certification program course, the BJCP, which in turn has given me a better understanding of the off flavours, the different flavours within beer, which has certainly assisted with my personal brewing as well.
Before the Brewers Club, we got involved with the franchise beer making thing and had a go at that and weren't really happy with the results. And now mate and I joined at the same time, and he's doing all grain and I'm doing extract brewing. We're both making pretty decent beer, so I'm really happy. And the club's a great place, great bunch of people. And I enjoy every meeting, and I'm learning heaps at every meeting. So that's what it's all about, I think, being in the club.
And then joining the Canberra Brewers is great because you meet a lot of people that can teach you a lot, and you come to events like this.
Oh, look, I love the club. Obviously, being around and being a member of the club since I think '97, and I think the best thing about the club is forget about the brewery. It's just a good group of people, and I think that's the thing that keeps me getting involved in it, because I like actually hanging out with all the people that are involved in the club. And I think that's one of the things that you do when you got to have when you're doing on the amateur side or a hobby side, is you got to have a good group of core people or group of people that you want to actually spend time with away from your work and your family life and whatever. And I think that's the best thing about Canberra Brewers, that they're all good blokes and good girls. We have a few female members as well, so it's great to see.
Thank you, Canberra Brewers.
So hopefully you'll get a good overview of all the different systems and the brew day through these videos. And if you'd like to see more, come along to the Canberra Brewers website at www.canberrabrewers.com.au. Thanks and enjoy.